Hi, everybody. This is our last slide presentation. Um, I want you to know that in these slide presentations, I haven't shown you every place that we're going to go, just some of the highlights. So the trip's going to be a lot fuller than what it looks like. I want to start by today, we're going to be spending all of our time in Jerusalem, and we're going to be spending a few days in Jerusalem. This should be fun and exciting. And this first picture that you're seeing is the Temple Mount. Um, so when they built the temple, they built it up on top. And you can see in the very middle of the picture, you see the Dome of the Rock, which is not a church, it's not a mosque, it's a shrine. And there's a rock in there that has to do with Abraham. We'll talk about that more later. And it's this is a holy site for at least three different religions. Um, it's a holy site for the Muslims because Abraham was their father, is also with the Jews and Christians. This is a site that often, if there's trouble, this is where it starts. You can see if you look down at the well, no, you can't. On the opposite side of that Dome of the Rock, the golden onion-shaped dome. On the opposite side of that would be the Wailing Wall, which is what's left of the old Temple Mount, and that's where Jews go to, pray. So that'd be on the opposite side. So you're looking at the one side of the wall. If you went on the other side of the wall, that's where the Wailing Wall is. We'll go there, and you'll be able to spend some time there if you'd like. Off to the upper right side of the top of this picture is the old city of Jerusalem that's divided into four different parts. It has the Christian part, Jewish part, Muslim part, and the Armenian part. And we'll talk more later about why there's an Armenian part in there. We're going to be having lunch in the Armenian section in a tavern there. If you look down at the bottom of the picture, you'll see a valley, and that's the Kidron Valley. The Kidron River runs through there. It's not really a river, it's more like a creek. It runs through there, and at the very bottom of the picture, you're going up another side of the hill, and you can just see the edge of the Garden of Gethsemane. So when Jesus is in the Garden of Gethsemane, he's looking down over the Kidron Valley, and he's looking toward the Temple Mount, to the what would have been the temple at Jesus' day. And he's looking at that as all these things are happening in the garden, where he's betrayed, where he's sweating blood, and all that kind of stuff's happening so close to this area, really in just a couple blocks from the Temple Mount. Off to the left, out of our picture, is the city of David. I'm going to show you an old picture of that next. So this is the old city of David, which is, I tell people, about 12 acres and is about the size and shape of our property here at Trinity. If you've ever been at our church, it's 12 acres. It's long and narrow like this. That was the city of David. You can see the Temple Mount on top of the picture with smoke coming up where they were burning the sacrifices. So this is the city of David. It's not real big, but it's up on a mountain and made it defensible. You can see the fence or the barrier around the whole city. Okay, so that's the old picture. So, and wants to orient you again, the Kidron Valley is on your right. It's that valley going through there. The Kidron Creek goes through there. At the upper right, that would be the location of what is now the Garden of Gethsemane, although at this time it wasn't the Garden of Gethsemane. That was much later, during Jesus' day, not during David's time. This was the city of David. Okay, so here is what it looks like today. It's looking straight up to the shrine of the rock, which you can see that golden thing on the upper left. In the front upper part, you'll see another dome. That's actually a mosque that is up there. This is a strange place. Let's just go back real quick to this picture. This is odd because This is a Muslim holy site, and to the left you'll see the mosque, but it's controlled by Israeli military. So figure that one out. That's part of the strangeness of being in Israel. And by the way, I just talked to somebody who had just had a friend who was just over in Israel just got back today. And she said she never felt safer anywhere else that she's ever been than she was in Israel. So if you're worried about going over to Israel, take that to heart. She felt very safe over there, as I did when I was there. Okay, next slide is this is the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. Sepulchre is the place where Jesus was buried. It has in it the place where Jesus was buried. I'll say the traditional site, some might say the historic site, and also which was a cave, by the way, and then also the rock that he was crucified on, which was called the skull, looks like a skull, that is inside this building, both of those events. And what surprised me when I was there is how close those two were. I always kind of thought they were a ways away. But of course, now they're covered with a building and gaudied up. I like to say, I'll show you in a minute where Jesus was crucified inside this building. You'll see it's just, I mean, they put gold everywhere. It's ridiculous, but that's what they do. So this building is old, but it's a place where you go and you see these two things. Here is where Jesus was crucified, and you can see what they've done with it. It's not a rock anymore. It's this gaudy looking church. It has some glass. The left there of that altar is glass, and so is the right. And you can look down and see the rock, and you can wait in line and go touch the hole that supposedly that the Jesus cross was put into, if you want to do that. Anyway, so you get to see this. Here is the sepulcher, which was during Jesus' day just a cave, and there are other caves. We'll go behind this. This is kind of crowded. I don't find it very interesting, but there are other caves behind this that are just like this and really closer to what it would have looked like in Jesus' day. Okay, so Jerusalem, you can look and we'll see a lot more in Jerusalem. We'll go the way of the cross and do many other things in Jerusalem, but here are the highlights. And we're also going to go in Jerusalem. We're going to go to the Holocaust Museum there, which is pretty interesting, very interesting, and see a few other things. Just to close and get ready for our trip, there's a few things I want you to remember. Check your passport, make sure you have it with you, and make sure that it's more than I think it's like 6 months before it expires. They want to make sure it's not going to expire while you're over there. And if it is going to expire before that, if you haven't checked it before this, there is a fast way to get your passport taken care of, so you need to check into that right away. All the materials that were sent to you from Educational Opportunities, you should have received a lanyard to wear around your neck. You should have received something to put on your luggage, which I would suggest you put on there because it helps to identify where our luggage is. It's a tag, a colored tag. You should have received in your packet a number, which is the coded number to get your ticket when we go to, if you're coming with us to Portland. It's the number that you put into the computer that spits out your ticket. Make sure you have that. Just kind of go through your list of things you need to bring. Maybe go online to ricksteves.com and look at his list of what he brings to Europe, just to check to make sure you're bringing everything you can. Remember to pack light and wash often. Wash your clothes often. Bring stuff to wash your clothes. Not very much, but just a little bit. You can do it in the sink in all the bathrooms that we'll be in. Then also sunglasses. That's a good idea over there. It's usually sunny. Could be rainy, but usually sunny. A hat would be a good idea. I wear compression stockings on the plane just because it keeps my feet from swelling. My daughter does the same thing. She's a lot younger, so it might be a good idea to go to probably any pharmacy and get some compression stockings. They're just really kind of a hefty hose kind of thing that keeps keeps the fluids out of your lungs, out of your feet because you're sitting for such a long time. And something to pass time on the plane, whether it's a VCR VDR or a book or whatever, just something to pass the time. You'll be on the plane for 10, 10, 11, 12 hours. And remember to drink water on the plane and be ready to have a really awesome, life-changing experience. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to call me on my phone or text me. On this site is my um, email address, so you can look at that there, and I think most of you have my phone number. All right, so see you in Israel. God bless. Oh, by the way, if you're in this area, we're going to all leave Friday morning at 6:30 from the church, and we're going to take a bus, our church bus, to the airport and get to the airport. So you're welcome to come with us. We'll take a little money from everybody for the gas. It'll be a lot cheaper than parking your car at the airport. All right. So let me know if you need something. Take care. I'm looking forward to spending 2 weeks with you in Israel.